We're finally there, we're saying, endlich. So we finally arrived, and as we are closing slowly our European capital of culture, we are looking back a little bit, trying to understand what went well, or maybe what didn't go so well. We know that, but okay, we want to look what did. We did good, and we did quite a little good. And we also would like to hear from our partner capital of culture from Chemnitz. So I would like to invite to the stage for the first session that we have our director of our Foundation for the European Capital of Culture, Mia Lorbeck, please. And from Chemnitz, the CEOs, Andrea Peer and Stefan Schmidtke. Let's maybe sit. Or maybe you start, Mia. You start, Mia. We will want to...
No, we want to see it.
Okay, let's see it then. Okay.
It's kind of high. I try without it. It was better. Just looking. So, welcome again our international friends for the wrap-up of this amazing year full of bliss and blisters. Only people that did European Capital of Culture can understand how hard and at the same time beautiful this is. So we are happy to share this with Chemnitz, our dearest friends, and happy to hand it over to Trenčín and Oulu. We've been, as you know, the first cross-border European Capital of Culture in the history. That was a very brave move that has proven to be difficult, but we did it. I have to admit now, when we are at the end, even we had some doubts if this is possible. But we did it. And this is why the Committee for Culture and Education has named us the most extraordinary European Capital of Culture of all times, because we have demonstrated how culture can transcend the borders that the history where the history has built walls, and it can turn this into the shared progress. So I'll just talk about the good things and what went right, because what went wrong was said from everybody else, so we have to stress the things we've achieved. So Go 2025 in numbers. It's always important to tell from where we were coming and then where we got. So first, we were one of the smallest European capitals of culture, second only to Valletta, Malta. We are small cities far from our capitals, so far from Rome and far from Ljubljana. And you see the numbers of inhabitants we have, and you remember and you see the number of co-creators being 19,000. We were joking that almost every adult citizen was contributing to the program. And we also had a small program budget. Program budget was around 15 million for official program. And we had a very small team. On Slovenian side, it's only 17 people, and on Italian side, with the AGTC Go for the supporting programs, Small Project Fund Go 2025, it was around 10 people. But we did our best, and we created together 1,600 events. From that, it was 870 of official program, and the other were accompanying programs, such as Go 2025 and Friends, which offered commercially very successful concerts, also the exhibitions from American musicians and artists. And then there was small project found, Go 2025, that was managed very successfully by our partner organization, EGTC Go. It offered additional 10 million to bottom-up initiatives from cross-border NGOs, companies that prepared the program outside of the official program. And some of them were so good, to be punctual, 21 of them, that we have included them into the collaboration with the official program. So as already said, we had 19,000 creators, and the platform, also managed by EGTC Go, has gathered more than 3 million visitors. This is very crucial for us because this cross-border space was always striving to have a common platform where all the events would be collected and you could find what is going on in this borderless area. So it's been a huge success also because there are around 50 events and exhibitions each day to be offered in this broader area. And there was more. Oh, it was beautiful and unforgettable, and it will last because the city has gained so much also above the events that were here in 2025. We, both cities together, really seized the opportunity and developed a lot of much-needed infrastructure that was so chronically lacking before. Actually, we got the whole new part of our towns. So this is this ECOC district, or the EPIC district, as we call it. So we started just with a render that you see below, and you maybe remember we were watching this render made by architects, and you know how renders are. We were all, yeah, this is a dream, but maybe impossible. But it's possible. In a year and a half, all these new infrastructures with all these new contents came here, and we celebrated each opening and each new start with all the contents that will stay here. But this is only this area. There are many, many new contributions and developments in both towns. So it all started with the bridge above the Socha River, the river that gave us the color, and the river that gave us one of the best intermedia artworks just behind you. And then the two cities developed the shared bicycle system, and then there is the open theater, the open amphitheater, and there are the buses that glow in our shared color. And there are the castles and the new venues for mass events, such as Casa Rosa and the Epic District, and there is X Center and Go Center in Gorizia, and we'll keep on cherishing this and fulfilling it with the contents. But what made us also very happy is the interest that culture was generating throughout the year. The events were sold out also when we repeated, and the people that never came to the events before, that went only to see the football matches, started to visiting theater, opera, and it was amazing. And also the tourists came from all around the world to see our authentic culture developed from this space. And the best month was July, when, according to the national statistics, the overnight stays were increased by 42% because of the culture. There were the top highlight events here. But the events wouldn't be here without one special person who is called the mother and the soul of the European Capital of Culture. So I would like her to tell us about the program highlights. So Neda, please join me here.
Thank you. Mia can do it just without me, but yes, it was a big surprise. Actually, this July was even for us a huge surprise, actually, because nothing else was there except of culture, highlight events, and these are results. Everything happened on the opening weekend, actually, because after 4 years of preparation, when everybody was already nervous, what is going on, nothing is going on, and so on, after the opening weekend, everybody was, okay, this is something really going on. And then the peak was this July, and of course later and so on. But in July we had concerts of Alexander Gaggio, the huge opera on the Europa Square. We had the dance performance in very unique space you saw on our video, with our dance group, Mana dance group, who you will see later in the handover part, and which was really amazing. And we were so stressed because of the weather and everything, and we did it all. So after this year, we have to say we are really grateful, and I would like to stress, really, as Mia said, such a small team, such a small amount of money, and such a devoted, actually, people who did all this. So after 9 years of doing this, for me, I would say, I'm very proud now. I would do it again, even with everything what happened in between. Thank you.
Thank you, Neda, again for bringing Go 2025 to Nova Gorica and Gorizia. Although at the moments we were also sometimes angry with her, also her who in Earth did cause us to have this European Capital of Culture, but that was only a joke, the jokes that help us to survive. So the numbers from cultural tourism keep pouring in. This is not the final report, but as you can see, the true winners are the tour guides. They have increased sale of the guided tours by 400%, and as the University of Udine has analyzed, people coming here are very, very satisfied. So there was 90% of satisfaction. I don't know if that is because they didn't expect a lot or didn't expect anything, but when they come here, all promise and all see that these two cities and surroundings have so much to offer, and they cannot see it in such a short time, and they all will come back. So this is a story to be continued, as all the good stories we promise will be careful with what was given us by the gods of the European capital of culture. But what is most important is this. It's in this picture. What we had was our borderless story, and it was a story that had a difficult past, sometimes traumatic, and it was overcome by culture, by shared event, by creation. And you will see tonight the closing night of the borderless lights that have also given the color to our symbol, the Europe Square, and we did it for the new generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mia, and thank you, Neda, of course. And let's hear also from our friends from Chemnitz. Andrea Pia, yeah? You can use that.
So let's start with the video.
Ich erkläre Chemnitz Kulturhauptstadt Europas 2025 für eröffnet. Viel Vergnügen, viel Erfolg!
Auf die Vielfalt, auf die Liebe, auf die Kunst gegen Faschismus.
Wie das lief, das Jahr, das war super, das Jahr.
Egal wo man langgelaufen ist, man hat irgendwas gefunden, was einem Spaß gemacht hat, und dann hat man dort gechillt, man hat immer Leute getroffen, die man kennt, und es war einfach voll sweet.
Die Breite, die Vielzahl, was es da alles gibt, finde ich prima.
Das Angebot ist unglaublich. Also sowas Großartiges haben wir schon lange nicht mehr erlebt.
Wir sind super dankbar und es war richtig, richtig schön.
Man sieht Veränderungen in der Stadt.
I see the city super alive. I was happy that I could be a part of it.
Kulturhauptstadt Europas, das ist echt mal ein Knaller.
Yeah, so these were some impressions from our capital of culture, which we closed last week with a big closing event, and it's nearly impossible to give you an overview about a full year, 315 days full of events and everything in like 10 minutes. So we just highlight some of the really important things. It was quite funny when you said, Mia, because we kind of had the same thing, because, I think now it's switched. Our motto, which you might know, was See the Unseen. And this had a double meaning, and it was Chemnitz, the unseen, but also, if you say it in English, look at the unseen. It was invitation to Germany, Europe, and the whole world to come in the capital of culture, Chemnitz, also the region, because we are together with 38 municipalities in the region, to explore what you can find. And actually a lot of people did, to maybe surprise to the people from Chemnitz sometimes. And there were really a lot of people who came. More than 2 million visited us in this year. And also our guided tours, our guests, the people who do that, they really could have been divided into a couple of things to gain all and to satisfy all the people who've been there. And I think the thing which we heard most from the visitors from outside was, I've never been here before. Actually, I've never been to Saxony. It's totally different than what I've expected. It's really great here, and I have to come again. And of course, this is something which we like to hear a lot. And this had an effect on the people of Chemnitz.
Yes, see the unseen. It was not that easy for our Saxons to follow on this formula because it was English. And we had to explain that we are a European capital of culture with a Saxon heart. And see the unseen became a formula first of research. And in the end, it became a formula of proof given by the people to be visible and emotional feasible. So in the first years, we had to introduce at least 2 English words to our people, and they really followed us to learn this formula. In the inner sense, we are a European capital of culture as we are following European values. And when you're running through the charter of the main values of the European Union, it starts with the rule of justice, the rule of humanity, the rule of democracy, and these are all things you can practice each to other, one by one, in a smaller scale. And that smaller scale can become huge when everybody follows this. And so see the unseen is a rule to see each other, to speak each to other, to follow each other, to react on each other, and to create together. And this proof was given by the numbers you have seen, or the numbers they are coming. I think you can switch already to the next, yeah. Now it's getting a little bit boring because a capital of culture is not numbers. A capital of culture is an interaction of thousands of people, which is a very emotional act, which is a practical social act. And behind See the Unseen is a massive interaction of 100,000 of people. They learn from each other, they create together, which was the basic rule for our capital of culture. In our bid book was fixed 70 projects to give proof, and you have here a remarkable number of 260 projects. They came from our people. The region we are talking about is from a 100-kilometer distance east-west and a 100-kilometer distance north-south. And in this region are living 1 million people. And it's not that easy to activate 1 million people, to bring them in the mood, to let them understand that is your capital of culture and not the capital of culture of the organization which runs the organization. So what was happened is that we started with micro projects to activate individual ideas, to let the people understand my idea counts. My contribution to this capital of culture is my contribution to my city and to Europe. And in the end, we came to 260 projects out from our citizens, from our region, and it ended up in around about 2,000 events in that capital of culture year. The collaboration of our organization ended up with more than 900 partnerships, 400 out of them with organizations, institutions, with clubs, sport clubs, museums, and round about 500 with individuals. And what you can see, we are a real European capital as well internationally, as we have a collaboration with more than 40 countries. And what it became a miracle onwards to us is the last number here in this scale. It's 1,300 volunteers. People, they've been ready to spend their spare time for their city and for their European cultural activation. These 1,300 people are from the various circles of our cities: doctors, students, pensioners, every age group. They created a huge interaction with more than 9,000 active supports of artistic acts and 45,000 hours spent onwards our European capital of culture. And we are reminding you our program fields and our flagship projects. That's the part our company produced onwards this. All other 255 projects being made by initiatives and by contribution in our city. The European Makers of Democracy was a program to connect European-wide with workshops, with partner trips, and I think many of people of us I have seen in Chemnitz know what this is about. Back to Andrea.
Well, of course, yeah, you said it's not about numbers, but sometimes it's also nice to share some numbers, and the same, I mean, evaluation will take a couple of more months to really have the final numbers, but we brought some of them with us. And we also had an increase of overnight stays, like in an average of 25%. In August, we had 52%. It was really, it's amazing. There were weekends where there were no bed-free in the whole of Chemnitz, and that was something unexpected because Chemnitz wasn't a tourist city, and now all of a sudden we are. So people came, and also everybody in Chemnitz really tried to support the people who visited us. It was really nice to see. Yeah, also the city tours increased. We had a lot of congresses because we had the feeling that every company, every institution in whole Germany thought about, I think Chemnitz is capital of culture. Why don't we go there and have an event there? And that had nothing to do with our program. It just happened because we are capital of culture. Of course, international delegation, you probably faced the same. We really welcomed a lot of people from really all over the world. Also, I think the bond to the partnering cities from Chemnitz, there are 12, really strengthens throughout the years. And something we haven't mentioned yet is like there was also a program in like building things. We had 30 so-called intervention areas. There were places and there were buildings. More than 60 million euros went into this, and because people always ask what will stay, of course this will stay, and also our public transport really grow to more than 2 million people, more than we had normally. So these are just some of the numbers, and also our media coverage was really, really good. I mean, it was an idea, see the unseen. Of course, Chemnitz wanted to become more visible and to become also a positive image on everything. So this also really worked very well. We had a lot of media publication in Germany and also from international. We had more than 23,000 mentioned in press and media. And we were really successful also in our social media. We had 86 million views over the year, which is, I think, really, really great. So we really could say that this See the Unseen really worked, so we have to put it now, maybe See the Scene. Oh, there is one slide. Ah, there it is. Yeah, so after all, I think we are really happy with our capital of culture. We think it worked really, really well for the people, for the city, for the region. And we will build on all of that for our legacy, and we really think that it will stay for a really long time, a success story.
And we have to say thank you to all of our friends, not only the friends here in Nowa Gorica, but the friends from Wrocław, who made their capital of culture already in 2016, but we had the opportunity to learn from them. From our friends in Kaunas, which we visited, and we learned a lot from our friends in Veszprém. So it's not only about ourselves, but all this ECOC family which supports and enriches each to other. So Trenčín and Olu forward. Thank you very much for support from your side as well. We had a fantastic exchange with you already.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Stefan. And now let's go to the stage. Let's see the persons who are in charge of the European Capital of Culture. So the mayors of the 3 cities. From Nova Gorica, Mayor Samo Turel, please come on stage. From Gorizia, Rodolfo Di Berna, the mayor of Gorizia. And from Chemnitz, of course, Sven Schulze, come please. So the question is for the 3 of you. How do you see this ECOC year that's behind you? How do you evaluate it? And how do you intend to preserve the legacy of the European Capital of Culture? Samo Turel, please.
Thank you. Welcome again, Sven, Rodolfo. First of all, I would like to just a little bit correct you. We are not the ones running the ECOC. We are the ones running the cities. The ones running the ECOCs are sitting here in the first row. It's been a wonderful year. I'm still gathering all the emotions. My eyes got watery when I saw the video. I didn't see it before. Remembering what we managed to achieve, what the teams managed to achieve, what the culture people and actors and everybody who did the programs and was part of all the shows managed to achieve. There are many layers that are still being peeled off what happened here in Nova Gorica and Gorizia, but let me stress 2 points, 2 sides. One is the cohesion and how the people of both cities are now more than ever before irreparably connected, and how we are starting really to collaborate on many fields. The other layer is the spotlight that the artists managed to get. And a big stage not only in Slovenia, but also in Italy, in Europe, and why not all over the world. And the third layer is the message that we are trying to convene. I still remember the most touching thing and the most emotional visit that we received, at least for me, that made me think that perhaps we are really doing something wonderful here, was the visit of mayors from Ireland and Northern Ireland. They visited us and they kept asking, how did you start to do this and how do you manage, despite the difficult past, to go this way and to achieve what you are achieving now? What will remain? Well, on top of the wonderful memories and all the infrastructure that we managed to secure on both sides of the border, a lot will remain. A lot of connections between the people on both sides of the border, a lot of connections between artists from both sides of the border, cohesion, a new life for both cities, for the ones that are coming after us. But as Waldo Emerson said, success is about the journey, not the destination. And as I always say, the European Capital of Culture is not a project, it is a process that we have started now, and we must keep up with it also in the years to come. We are already planning a common development strategy for both cities. We are planning to have a trademark, something that will make us known as 2 cities who were the European Capital of Culture, who achieved what they achieved, and with which we can make ourselves even more known, not only in Europe, but also in the whole world. Thank you.
And let's hear from the other city of Nova Gorica, the Gorizia. Rodolfo Di Berna, sindaco, come vede quest'anno che è passato e come vede legato, il lascito, quello che rimarrà?
Non è ancora passato.
It's not over yet.
Ne abbiamo ancora entro la fine dell'anno, al di là delle battute. Una considerazione che io faccio è che ovviamente ciascuno può fare un saldo complessivo, una sintesi, ogni ambito dovrebbe avere un suo saldo, no? una sua sintesi. Se io dovessi però individuare una sintesi, dividerei in 3 settori. Può apparire strano che il primo ambito per me è quello, tra virgolette, politico. Politico perché quello che i 2 capi di Stato, Mattarella e Pacor, all'epoca sottolinearono, e perciò ai noi la drammatica attualità di quel messaggio, è che appunto questo confine che era testimone, è stato testimone delle tragedie del secolo scorso, in realtà si è trasformato, nonostante queste tragedie, queste sofferenze, questi dolori non di secoli e secoli fa, ma molto recenti, in un luogo capace di generare grandi e straordinarie opportunità di collaborazione internazionale e di coesione. Ecco perché quello che ci avevano detto i 2 capi di Stato abbiamo cercato di farlo ogni giorno, cioè di essere testimonianza in Europa e nel mondo di come, se le comunità vogliono, possono farlo. E in questo caso davvero i 2 comuni sono stati strumenti di diplomazia, dove gli stati non riescono a fare tante cose, comprensibilmente, i comuni riescono a farlo, ma comuni inteso nel senso di comunità. E il primo lascito importante perciò è che queste comunità che si voltavano le spalle oggi hanno dimostrato che sono pronte a collaborare. Mia ha parlato del numero di progetti, ad esempio di small project andando verso la capitale europea. Oltre 300, quasi 400 sono stati quelli presentati. Significa che non dico 400, ma per 400 progetti ci sono stati dei soggetti sia italiani che sloveni che si sono messi insieme per progettare, per organizzare. E questo è già uno straordinario lascito, perché associazioni che non si conoscevano o che si voltavano le spalle, d'ora innanzi, ecco perché oggi quest'anno era l'anno 0, non il 2025 basta, l'anno 0, da adesso noi cerchiamo di agevolare la continuità di questi rapporti. Vale, e stamattina ne parlavamo anche nei confronti delle relazioni con Chemnitz, perciò le iniziative che con Chemnitz ci sono state, cercare di continuare. Il secondo ambito è quello del circuito. Abbiamo visto dai dati quanto si è parlato tantissimo di Chemnitz, tantissimo di Go 2025 sui media italiani e stranieri. Gorizia e Nova Gorizia non era il sito più ambito comprensibilmente del turismo mondiale, ma comprensibilmente magari Londra, Parigi, sono delle città che forse evocano qualche immagine superiore. Oggi però Nova Gorizia e Gorizia sono tra quelle località che i media turistici internazionali indirizzano. Perciò siamo entrati in un network non soltanto di luoghi da visitare, ma anche luoghi in cui abbiamo fatto e continueremo a fare, ad esempio, grandi mostre, sia da parte di Gorizia che da parte di Nova Gorizia. Grandi mostre che una volta non c'erano, ma di così grande spessore sul nostro territorio, vale per le mostre, per i concerti, per spettacoli. Perciò siamo diventati geograficamente, dal punto di vista della geopolitica, all'interno di questo perimetro abbiamo dimostrato che si può fare e dobbiamo tra i lasciti continuare a coltivare questa, no? Tenere accesa questa luce. Il terzo ambito, che certo mi fa piacere ovviamente, è quello di essere riusciti, abbiamo indicato per quanto riguarda le opere pubbliche, gli investimenti, a realizzare grandi luoghi di aggregazione. Questo luogo di aggregazione qui non esisteva, era un magazzino non utilizzato. Oggi penso che c'è la difficoltà nel selezionare tutte le domande di chi vorrebbe utilizzare o questa parte o l'altra parte, il museo. Stessa cosa su parte italiana, senza fare l'elenco delle opere che poi magari i giornalisti annoia, anche perciò sono destinate sì allo sport, alla cultura, chi è del territorio, parliamo del Palabigot, Piazzale della Casa Rossa, il palazzo Attems, il castello con le multimedialità, eccetera, eccetera. Ecco, perciò, se non c'è un contenitore, non c'è neanche un contenuto. Ecco perché quello che noi siamo riusciti a trasformare a Gorizia e Nova Gorizia, delle città accoglienti, ma credetemi, a cominciare, e che sono sì per il turista, ma anche per il cittadino. Fare in modo perciò che il primo approccio di uno straniero o comunque uno che non appartiene al nostro territorio, quando arriva nelle nostre città, prima ancora di assistere a un concerto, di vedere una mostra, prima ancora dice: ma che bello, no? Vero? Cioè, quello che ci dicevano i turisti, il 90% di apprezzamento, neanche io so come l'hanno fatto, il 90% di turisti che esprimevano apprezzamento, io so il 10%, perché non era il contrario, perché non trovavo i ristoranti aperti. Ragazzi, ma ancora noi due avete visto dalle immagini che abbiamo provato a far da mangiare. Oltre a quello però non potevamo farlo ogni giorno, o sabato, cioè, anche perché perciò la prima cosa è l'accoglienza, per fare in modo che quando il turista arriva sul nostro territorio si sente in famiglia, che dice: che bello starci, poi per fare tante altre cose, ma che bello starci. Perciò io credo davvero che questi tra i lasciti, se individuiamo questi tre ambiti, lasciti che nessuno di noi poteva neppure lontanamente immaginare, quando non 10 anni fa, ma neanche quando dove è scappato? Neda, dov'è? Ma neanche quando abbiamo iniziato a scrivere il Big Book, anche in quel momento non si poteva immaginare quale sarebbe stato il grande impatto. Perciò io credo che da parte nostra siamo andati oltre le più rosee aspettative, e perciò questo è l'anno zero. Faremo una conferenza stampa all'anno a dicembre per dire cosa abbiamo fatto, il lascito del 2026, del 27, del 28, però insieme a Chemnitz.
So, thank you. The first thought that comes to mind, of course, there would be many things to say, and others have said quite a lot, but I would like to summarize the main three domains or parts in which we see the legacy of what we have achieved in this, with this capital of culture. And first, let me start with the political one, the political domain, although it might seem strange. But the fact is that the presidents of Italy, President Sergio Mattarella and the then president of Slovenia, Borut Pahor, on this square here met, and they set out the legacy that we intended to promote also and have it as a message of our capital of culture, which is that on this border where many things, cruel things happened in the past, bloody things, war and conflict, and not centuries ago, but just a few decades ago, here somehow the population managed to overcome that and to bring something new to life, to start a new way of cooperation, because seeing that as a great opportunity. And every day we are sending out this message, not only to Europe, but to the world. And this message, said back then by the two presidents, today seems more topical than ever if we see the situation in the world. Where countries cannot find an agreement, cities and local communities manage to do something. And we, as small cities, manage to step into a dialogue and to bring things together. So we are the first example of how we can cooperate. And as Mia also mentioned, the number of projects that we see, there were almost 400 applications for projects to be financed from the Small Project Fund. They were not all financed because the money ended at some point. Some of them were financed. But it means that 400 cases, or in almost 400 cases, individuals, associations, organizations from both sides of the border stepped together to do something together. They planned something. They wanted to do something, and they prepared a project that had good quality. There were almost 400 of them that had enough quality to be financed. It was the money that ended at some point. But that's the most important legacy I see. So the year that we are starting now, it's not 2026, is year zero, as I call it. It's the year we are starting to bring forward everything that it is. So all the cooperation that we learned, we already did well before, but all the cooperation that many of the people who didn't know each other, association, organizations, and were just looking in two opposite directions, now discovered each other and started cooperating. And now the legacy is to bring that kind of cooperation even further. And that legacy is also to continue cooperating with other friends as Chemnitz or other capitals of culture, because that's also something precious. The second domain is, I would call it network or media. Let's call it media. There is lots of talk about Gorizia, Nova Gorizia, the capital of culture, in the media. We had mentions in all kinds of media that were far exceeding any expectation, as you did in Chemnitz as well. So the international media started talking about us. And as Chemnitz, we are not a tourist destination. We certainly cannot be compared to London or Paris that evoke something in our minds. But today, the media, the capital of culture, has put us on the map of Europe or even of the world in some cases. And we now are a destination that can host, as we did over this year, a great art exhibition as we did, or great concerts with international artists. So at this geographical level, we became visible, and that's the second legacy we have. And the third domain, which I see as the legacy, is the infrastructure, the public spaces. If before we didn't have that many, but still some, but not that many spaces for hosting important events, the European Capital of Culture managed to allow us to make new things. Like, for example, this center. This was a railway warehouse once for decades. And then it just became a cultural center which now hosts events every day. It's just difficult to say no to people who would like to organize an event here. And that's something. Not only in Slovenia, not only the part we see here, the symbolic Europe Square or Transalpina with this cultural center and all the things happening along the border, but even in Italy, there are just too many things to mention them all. The once derelict and forgotten sports hall that got renovated. The castle now can host many more events. There is a large abandoned parking space on the border that was transformed into a large concert venue, and many, many other things. Fact is, you have no content if you don't have a container, of course, and now we have the containers to which we can invite new content. The most important thing I see in this context, in this third aspect, is that Nova Gorica and Gorizia have become more welcoming cities, not only for tourists, but also for the local inhabitants who have much more choice from all the things that are offered. So welcoming in the sense that when a tourist comes, before the concert, before the art exhibition, before anything else, they say, wow, how nice, how beautiful. And the locals can say it as well, how nice, how beautiful. As the University of Udine said, and Mia mentioned it, the satisfaction rate was of 90%. And I can say, well, the 10% were not satisfied because they just couldn't find a restaurant that was open. As you have seen in the video, me and Samo, we were trying to cook something, but of course that's to some extent. But we are trying to improve on that. So this is the third legacy for the years to come, to bring that forward. The expectations were exceeded by far. We never could have imagined, even when we started, not even when we started the candidacy procedure 8 or almost 10 years ago, but even in a year before that or 2 years ago, we couldn't imagine that all of that would have happened, but it did. And we are happy it did, and I think these are the three legacies. So, let's hear from our friendly partner city, Chemnitz. Then Schulz, please.
Yes, I can follow a lot of the words my colleagues have said, because it was in a way similar in Chemnitz than it has been in Nova Gorica and Gorizia. Well, let me start perhaps with a personal story, because we have been awarded the title 2 weeks after I was elected mayor of Chemnitz. So the people were really cheering after this award ceremony, and I was a bit with mixed emotion because I knew it will be a lot of work. And it had been a lot of work, and I think my colleagues and all your friends can confirm this, but all this work was worth it when you see the results. And when I look back to the year 2025, I'm really sure that Chemnitz, the city, has changed, and you can see it, you can feel it, and I do hope that it will be a sustainable change. And of course, a lot of moments come to my mind. Of course, the big concerts, exhibitions, festivals, music performances, but there have also been these small moments when you meet volunteers and you see in their eyes that they are really focused and really proud on their city and their work, or the small cultural and artistic groups and events who had a platform to show what they can do. We see the networks, Rodolfo and some already mentioned the internationalization through the European Capital of Culture. And for Chemnitz, it had also been, and Rodolfo and Samo mentioned it as well, a kind of image transfer. So we were put on the map, and a lot of people who had no idea about Chemnitz or had, let's say, an imagination of Chemnitz driven from reports or talks from third parties, now they have a first-hand experience. And this was a surprising and a good experience. And I really hope that this will continue over the next years. And there was also another aspect which was very, very important. You know, probably the same with your citizens. At the very beginning of this bidding process, we did not know, should we dare to apply for such a title? Are we able to deliver? And now, when the year is over, you know, we did it. We were able, and we can also dare to apply to other titles. We can dare to do big things, to do big concerts. And this is very, very important for the people of Chemnitz. And sometimes I think that we needed the view from outside, also for our own people, to reassure themselves they can do it, they have the capacity. And I feel a lot of pride now about the year. And this is what we want to carry on for the next year. Of course, legacy is a big word. What we want to carry on is this ability to do things, these networks, also these intervention areas, because as already Samu and Rodolfo said, it's not only a cultural year, it's also an urban development process. We will have pursue a lot of these formats of the program. We try to introduce a Unseen Biennale from 2027 onwards to create this ECOG feeling again, because it was also ECOG feeling. A lot of people in the city, a lot of events taking place, a lot of media is reporting, and people talk to each other which have not talked to each other before, because they are just together attending a concert or doing something together. So I really, really appreciate it this time, even especially also for the mayors. It was a hard time sometimes. A lot of guests, a lot of interviews, a lot of things to solve. And for our friends in Oulu and in Trenčín, you are not alone. So we are there when you need our help, and we can really, really imagine what you feel now. Because when I look back 1 year ago, there were a lot of doubts. What will be the program? Will people come or not? Will we manage? We know how you feel now, but look forward to the time in 1 year. You will be satisfied, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you. And I was trying to suggest also to people from Trenčín and Oulu, did you ask the mayors about their blood tests and the pressure and so on? So are you willing to do that? But no, I would like to jokingly end with one thing. We had heard one phrase, one sentence, one quotation saying that you would quote that as somehow a summary, which is from Waldo Emerson. It's not a project, it's a process. For Sindaco Ziberna, I would summarize it in one sentence, which is legendary in our cities. He used to say, but he has been proven, he has been proven wrong, because he was saying always, before we started, he was saying, the worst case scenario is that it's gonna be a triumph. So if anything goes wrong, nevertheless, it will be a triumph. It was much more than that. E ti ho dimostrato che hai sbagliato perché è molto di più di un trionfo di quello che pensavo. It's two triumphs, so he's been proven wrong. Do we have something for Chemnitz similar?
Well, Chemnitz people tend to be not so enthusiastic, and they said, well, I didn't thought that it was that good, and it means a double triumph. So,
double triumph. Okay, and we are cutting us. They're cutting us. So let's thank the mayors. We are still capitals of culture for a few hours, so please. And let's invite the new capitals of culture. So, let's hear first from the Vice Mayor of Trenčín, Patrick Jacques. Is he coming? Yeah. Come. We stole all your time.
Sorry, I will just.
A good start. A good
I will
start.
just vanish. Let's
Yeah.
save. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry. This is gonna be quick.
Your expectations, how do you see it? What do you program? What do you plan?
Yeah, well, we kind of already are, and all the cities that are preparing for the year, they need to start early, and quite a lot of stuff is happening already, and it shows the people. And it was said previously that people need to live through it to understand it and to dissolve the doubts, and that's slowly happening. And what I'm looking for is to dissolve all the doubts and have good fun. And then on legacy that was mentioned multiple times here today. Yeah, fun. Why not? This is culture. It's supposed to be enlightening, making people happy and not sad.
That's it?
Well, we're running out of time.
Yeah, okay. We believe you. I mean, we
Well, I
know
want
that.
to have fun afterwards.
Okay.
and
So let's hear also from far, far more to the north. From Finland, we have representatives of Oulu. Are you coming to the stage? Lauri Nikula, Risto Ruohonen. Who starts? The same question is, how do you see it? What are the plans? What are your expectations?
Thanks. I want to say thanks this day here, and thanks Samo Nova Gorica. I don't see him here now, and Rudolf Gorizia, and Sven Chemnitz, and Patrick Trench. Thank you. I bring you warm greetings from Oulu in northern Finland, European Capital Culture in 2026. When we in Oulu look ahead to next year, we should see more than just a program or a celebration. We should think about our everyday life, how our city and our region can feel better, stronger, more alive. Next year should leave something real for people, places to meet, spaces for culture and activities, things that make daily life a little richer, not just for 1 year, but for many years ahead. Success is a symbol that we can later say, my family, my friends, my community benefited from this. Next year should also bring new energy to our region. More visitors, new ideas, new opportunities for work and creativity. Not only in the center, but across all our municipalities, so that the whole region feels included and seen. Further, where Northern Finland is a place people want to visit and a place people want to live. And next year should bring us close together. Culture is not only events, it is connection, it is pride, it is a feeling that we belong to the same community. Everyone should have a chance to take part, children, young people, families, seniors. And now, as our cultural year is coming to end, our is about to begin, let us hope that this moment becomes a starting point for stronger connections, for new confidence, and for a future where culture continues to bring people together across Europe. Next year is not the ending, it is a beginning. And that beginning belongs for all of us.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes, on my side, I'm not living in Oulu. Been visiting there several times, so I was invited to the just funded foundation. I do have some experiences from some other ECOC years in Helsinki 2000, Turku 2011. And I have to say that what I'm waiting is that Oulu will be the most ambitious I've ever seen as an ECOC. So the point is that the first, let's say, third of the year's program, which Pia will present quickly soon, Brave Hinterland. Brave Hinterland is Oulu, and Oulu district. That's an area where about 500,000 people lives. And if you go 500 kilometers or drive 5 hours from Oulu, you find another 500,000. Which means that if you look here in these parts of Europe, that you drive 5 hours somewhere, you sure will find more people than up there north. And it's a technological hub, and there is a interesting sense of humor in that city, which means that it means an opportunities. And there have been a lot of talks about the legacy, and that's the point where the foundation will work for. Of course, Oulu people seems to be now awakened already. We had the last call called "We Are the Culture." We got some 1,500 proposals, which means, of course, that they are not all funded, but it tells that there is 1,500 projects which are not our flagship project or anything like that, but they are local ones, either in Oulu or in the district. Many of them are collaboration between the municipalities or people around the area. And since area is from the Swedish border to the Russian border, it means that it's a quite wide area, and we still have a totally different situation than what we started all this. When Oulu was bidding, there was a lot of expectation about peaceful time, connections of the culture and the people over the border of Finland and Russia, for example. And now we found ourselves again in the bottom of the end of the Europe, which we used to live decades until the beginning of the 90s. And so we are again in a kind of situation that there's a lot of things we have to think over again. I'm not going to speak longer, but I think that the biggest and most important legacy is the experience. On my knowledge, most of the cultural capitals, the legacy which is most important has actually the one you never expected. And in Finland, those 2 years have found us a lot of new knowledge, a generation of young people who are good on the new profession as a producers or doing things on the field of culture. And I think that that's what I'm waiting. It's not going to be a surprise this time as it was when Helsinki was capital of culture. In Turku, it was the living city center, the more lively city center. And I'm sure that it will happen also Oulu. So these are the two legacies which is easy to wait, but I'm sure that the most important legacy, we don't know yet. We'll see that. But Pia will tell more about what you can wait for.
Thank you. And from the more wider political aspect, let's go to the technical ones. Let's go to hear from those who are in charge. Let's start with Trenčín. So Stanislav Krajčí, please. CEO of Trenčín, let's see briefly what you have in plan.
Very briefly, yeah. Hello, thank you so much for this opportunity, short opportunity. I don't know if it's going on, yeah. Yes, but we are lucky. We are much more lucky than Oulu because our topic is awakening curiosity. So it's okay to just briefly show you, not go to the details in terms of the topic. So this is our city, the historical city, the romantic view, but we are kind of ambitious to see and give the opportunity for visitor to experience much more than only romantic picture on city center. We are saying that we are the city with symbolical castle, but also the new symbol which is going on doing on our project, which will be the Fiesta Bridge, which you see now on the illustration, but later you will see also in the photography. And of course, in the corner, these are the communities and people, the heart of our project. We have several tools how we're using the world of curiosity, and we presented already several times, so I will be short. It's a curiosity as a memory, culture, identity, and public. Curiosity as an ecological responsibility. Curiosity as equality, solidarity, and care. And finally, impulse for the new stories. We're launching our official program almost 2 weeks ago in Trenčín locally and in Oulu on the national level in the beginning of the September. If I have time, I will tell you more in detail. So now, if you will be curious about the waiting places, which is taking place in the waiting places to bring the art on the places where people didn't expect it. You will be curious about the public space for the people. You will be curious about the Splanekor, which will be Riverside Festival homemade raft and vessel built from the Rasa materials. You will be curious about Edith András and Ilona Nemet and one of the biggest visual exhibitions which take place in Trenčín, August 26. If I have time, you will be curious about the new circus which we bring in September and during the year. You will be curious about the Fiesta Bridge, which is our most important and biggest investment project. It is transformation of railway bridge into a vibrant promenade. You will be curious about the Laboratorium of Sustainable Fashion because the first things what you heard from the people living in Trenčín was in 60, the city of the fashion. Now we are moving much more further. And of course, it's not only the city, it's also about the region. So we did already several events in our spa cities, and we're bringing the well-being art to the spa and bringing much more younger visitors to the spa. And of course, the most important part of the year, you are very welcome to our opening ceremony weekend or festival. It takes place in Trenčín, heart of the city, but also in the districts around the city. It takes place for 13, 14, and 15. And you can choose between two very symbolical days. We're starting as a Friday of 13, and another day is a Valentine's Day, so you can choose which days works for you. And of course, if you get curious, we have the program already online, and it will be not only welcoming you as a visitors, but if you want to send also from your cities the another artists or another curators or another makers, we're doing also our trainer program, which is our residential program. We already did one open call. Thank you for your curiosity. Thank you for our partners. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Pia Rantala-Korhonen, please, from Oulu.
Okay, I try to be as fast as my colleague from Trenčín. So, we are really excited about the opening of next year. Cultural climate change is our main goal, and we are going to make it with culture, and we think that it has already begun up in the north. The year is divided in 3 phases. We will start with the theme Brave Hinterland, everything to do with winter, snow, Sami culture. Then we go to summer season, when the city goes wild, and there will be lots of outdoor events, festivals in all around our broad area. And then in the autumn season, we will dive into the dark season, and especially we will combine art and tech in interesting ways. But we will start on New Year's Eve, so we will not lose a single day. And this can also be seen in television on the national TV, not only in Oulu Hall. The opening festival will be in the mid-January. The whole city center will be turned into the festival area. So it can be minus 20 degrees in Oulu in January. So there will be lots of warm places also indoors. All the exhibitions will be open, and there will be several other European capitals of culture having their own lounges. They bring their own culture to our opening festival. Sami culture is really important for us. Oulu is the biggest village of Sami people outside the official Sami region, and Sami, they are the only indigenous people in the European Union, so it's something which belongs to all of us. We will occupy the City Hall with the media art. The biggest work will be Layers in Peace Machine. That is the art piece which is connected to the main theme of our year. We really want to give this present to the whole Europe and to the world. Then we will have media art from Kiasma, the Finnish National Gallery, also at the City Hall. There will still be some room for the city officials and the mayor too, so don't worry. We will open our own exhibition center in the city center of Oulu. Fotografiska Tallinn will make their an amazing exhibition called Play. During the summer season, there will be about 14 bigger scale festivals all around the broad area. And one of the themes which is connecting the whole area also is our Arctic Food Lab program. And we are having 170 companies who use already the trademark, and you can find those products in the shops and cafes and restaurants. And we will make a 1 kilometer long table in the city center in the mid-August. One really interesting production is Faravits Land. It's kind of a fictional history to our city, and it will be performed in an abandoned hypermarket quite in the city center. During the autumn season in November, Lumo Art and Tech Festival will be one of the biggest things, and always really worth visiting during that event. In the darkest time we have less than 4 hours daylight per day, so we have a lot of darkness to be filled with light art. Underground Clash brings media art to the parking game, which is right under the city center. It's made by Danish artist Jakob Stensen. And finally, we will end our year with, of course, Santa Claus and Kalevala stories by putting them together into a brand new musical made by really top-level artists. The last show will be on the 19th of December, so we will still have some days for the Christmas holiday for our team. So there will be something to experience every day, not in Oulu, but in all 40 municipalities from the Russian border to the Swedish border, and all the events are already in the events calendar, so please find your sweet spots there. And follow us in social media, then you will know that what surprises will be in the program.
Wow. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attention, for bearing with me and being late in my case. But now we end it, so there are refreshments for you waiting here. At 5 o'clock, the light parades start from the two cities, and they are coming closer to the square. But you can visit Transalpina, the Europe Square, already now, where you can see things happening. But at 15 past 6, you have to be here, because the program is starting. Okay, thank you.